my name is Asif Raza, and I'm a full stack developer at Deadless. Okay, so I have more than 3 years of experience as a full stack developer. So for the phase 0, I'm going to take your classes. Okay, and there are multiple phases. So we will start from the introduction of web development, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then we will move toward the JavaScript framework. So here we will learn about the basically the React framework for the JavaScript and the Node to run the JavaScript into the outside of the browser, and the Express.js is the backend for the JavaScript. And we will learn about the database and how to deploy website and things. Of course, so here we will do the project-based learning. Okay, so we are not going to much about PPT and documents. So whatever we do, we will code here. Okay, so everyone is here. So we are going to learn about the web development, and this is the module 1. Okay, so so before that, let's know about the internet. What is the internet and how it's work? Upper overview, not much into the depth. You should just know about it. It's not a requirement. Just to start, we will we will learn about it. So every device which is connected to internet have some IP address. Okay, your laptop, your phone, or whatever device, if it is electronic and it can be connected with the internet, it will have IP address. Okay, and IP address is a way to communicate to one device to another device. So we have phone numbers from which we connect to our friend. Okay, we dial their phone number and we of course we dial in the mobile and we call to them and talk to each other. Okay, so IP address is something like phone number. Okay, so we talk to our friend with the help of IP address. Okay, and we can communicate, of course, so as much as far as we can possibly till there is an internet we can connect with them. Okay, and there's a WAN called wide network area. Okay, so one thing is that, do you know, internet is not wireless, it is wired. Okay, so internet cable has been it is across the globe. Okay, so every country is connected to each other with the wired connection. Okay, so uh, all the countries are connected to the internet with a wire, like it is optical fiber cable. With the help of that, we communicate to each other. If the optical fiber cable is destroyed, so we will lost each connection to each other. So you will have to know this. So in the initial, I also thought that okay, internet is it is wired. Okay, so how internet communicate to each other? There's a protocol called TCP and IP protocol. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of the internet. Okay, history of the internet. So it was started by ARPANET, current company. Okay, so I think the real company was different, and it was not a company project, but little bit something project of the US government. Okay, so US Army started this project to communicate to each other at the time of war, or sending critical data about the another country where they were having their army deployed. Okay, so internet was created just to share information about things with the into the US Army. Okay, but later they they have like distributed it to the universities. Okay, and then I think 16 university participated in the initial phase, and from there it was boom. Everyone started using it. Okay, and nowadays internet is everywhere, I guess. Okay, so ARPANET was the parent company. I don't know the real company. I think it is a parent company. The subsidiary is different. So let's not focus on that. Okay. So domain name system. Okay. So what happens? My screen is visible to everyone. What happens if I write google.com? Here, what happens? So in the reality, google.com doesn't mean anything. Okay. Okay, so google.com is nothing but is a just a a name for the for us to understand, a human to understand. Google.com is nothing. Okay, so okay, so you suppose you write something into the web browser. I think it is something like this. Okay, www.google.com. So we have to understand DNS. Okay, so when you write something into the browser and click enter, okay, so what happens? It goes to the browser cache. Okay, browser cache. Cache you can understand as some kind of memory. Okay, cache is a memory, fast memory. Okay, it is a a main memory. It has the space into the main memory. Cache you can something say that it will be it will remember some information about the things you daily do. Uh, like if I type something into the my web browser. Okay, so you see I have typed these things. Okay, so it is remembering these things and it is stored into the cache. So the most relevant information is stored into the cache. Don't worry about it, just remember these things what I'm telling you, and even if you don't remember, no worries. Okay, so it goes into the cache and there's a DNS lookup happen. Okay, okay, so DNS lookup happens. So let's suppose there's a a table is there. Okay, so it says 168. This is the IP address. Okay, so I think if you have learned to your school third semester IP address. Okay, so something like 28 or something like this. So all the IP address is stored here. Okay, 172.635 and something like this is stored here, and there's also the name of the URL stored here. So something like google.com, something like yahoo.com, and it is mapped to like this. Okay, so I'm giving you just over outer structure. Okay, so when you enter this, so it goes to the DNS. Okay, which is stored locally into your browser. In my browser, Google Chrome. Okay, and it gets this address, which is the real address. This is the real meaning, which will be understand by internet. So 168 something like this. Maybe if I see, yeah. So this is the real address which will be fetched from the DNS lookup. Okay, so domain name system. Okay, so this is the host name. Google.com is the host name and the DNS is this. Okay, so this is mapped to this Google.com is mapped to this. So whenever you enter this, it will goes to there and this address will be put into it will replace this, but still you will see this, but behind the work it is doing these kind of things. Okay, if it is not found into the browser cache, it will go to the operating system and try to find it here, and if it is also not able to find it here, then it will go to your local host. Okay, so let's suppose I have created a website and I have hosted in my local machine, in this machine currently. So it will go to the local host, and if it is found the address, like if I write local host you know 8080, so it will be found, it will not found in my browser cache, but it will be found in a local cache. Okay, so just I'm giving overview, or it maybe it will look overwhelming, but don't worry. Okay, just think about this. So there's a DNS lookup happen. Okay, DNS store the address of your website. Okay, you type www.google.com, it will store it is already stored your website if you have already visited it, and if it is not, it will go to the OS, and if it is not, it will go to the local cache. And also if you don't find it in the local cache, then it will go to the internet provider. Okay, internet provider will have information about the every site, and if it is does not found in here there, so it will give you the error. Okay, 404 not found. Okay, so these things happen when you enter something into the in your search bar. Okay, so let's suppose Google www dot not Google dot something like this. Okay, so right now I'm using Google, so maybe that is why. Okay, it will not work. Maybe something like this. Yeah, see, it has not been fine. There was something, you see, the DNS checkup has been finished and it was not fine, or it is saying that okay, maybe the internet is off, but of course it is not. Internet is not off because we are already connected here. Okay, so when you write something, what happens first? Remember this interview. There will be interview question maybe about the DNS lookup. Okay, so many people don't know about this. So you write something Google www.google.com. It goes to the DNS lookup. Lookup means just look, check there, and there is a key value pair is stored there. Okay, google.com, and the address of the Google 1648 something like this, and it will be mapped something like this. Okay, so these kind of things happen. Okay, so this was about the domain name system, and DSR end with the .com, .ic, .gov, and if it is a educational website, then it will be end with the .edu. Most of the educational website are nowadays are .edu, and a government website have been have the last value as a .gov, so that it will give you information about the website also. Okay, so this was the DNS. Okay, so IP address, of course. So this every machine have an IP address. Okay, and this is unique. Okay, how many IP address can be there into the two to the power 32? Okay, 32 bits. I think it is a 4 billion thing. IP address will be created from this. Okay, so right now I think the population is 7 billion. So if you see that 4 billion is not enough for the 7 billion people. Okay, because let's suppose I'm an ASIC person. I have what? Mobile, I have SIM, I have laptop, maybe another maybe watch. It is also electronic watch, and it can connect to the internet. Minimum these things I will have. So I'm minimum taking 4 IP addresses. Okay, and if you see that okay, there's 7 into 4, so 28 billion, if my math is correct. Okay, so 28 billion IP address we need at least for normal person. Okay, so this is the IP4 protocol. Okay, sorry, IPv4. Okay, so in the IPv4 there's that much of device can be created, so that is why it was replaced by with the help of IPv6. IPv6 came and it replaces it, and I think it is 2 to the power 128. So it is approx 3. I mean, approx is it 320? That much billion. Okay, sorry. Mhm. I don't know what is the value of this, but something like this. Let's suppose even 3 to 24 billion are there. So I think it is 3 trillion value. So even one person will occupy 4 values, or let's suppose 10 IP addresses. It will be 70 billion. So I think it is enough. It can, it can fulfill the requirement for all the unique IP addresses. So what is IP address? Simply, something like this. Okay. So these are IP addresses. This is the real address where a machine is hosted. So my machine has currently local host. So if you see, this is a local host IP address. If something was hosted in my machine, I could have seen it here. Okay. So this is a local IP address for every machine. There's an IP address. If I write what is my key, so every address, every machine have a IP. Okay, so this is currently showing Mumbai. It is a wrong IP address. Okay, so if you see, this is the IP address 4 and this is IP address 6. Okay, so IP address 4 is very simple dot, and IP address 6 will be you know uh, you know uh, have the double colon. Uh, one will have a dot and one will have a colon value to rectify this number. Okay, for after every number there will be dot into the IPv4, and into IPv6 there is a double colon, and there can be alphabetical letters also. Okay, because IPv6 is very large. Okay, so we can Okay, if you can count this, please be my guest to count this much of device can be created with the IPv6. Okay, so if you can count it, please count it and let me know. Okay, so it is 1000 larger than that IPv4. Okay, so even one person can 100 IP address. If we will have, then of course we can have a so much of course it will still fill the requirement. Okay, and let's talk about the URL. Okay, you always talk about URL. Give me the link. URL. Give me the link. Okay, so here we have the URL. Here we have the URL. Of course, this is also URL, and this is a URL. Okay, so what URL contains a protocol. Okay, so if you see, there's a protocol called this URL have the protocol. Let me copy this. So this is a protocol. Sorry. So this is a protocol. So this is a hypertext transfer protocol, and there's a HTTP and HTTPS. So this is a way of communication between two applications. Okay, so HTTP and HTTPs are same, but just as S means secure. Okay, so the communication happening between me and the Microsoft Teams is very secure. Okay, and if I go to the some HTTP website, okay, HTTP some website, okay, there's already okay, there's no HTTP website I can remember. So it will show you that okay that your connection is not secure. Okay, so HTTP your connection is secure. If you see here, it will say everything about this. Connection is secure here. Okay, and so there is subdomain, and the server name and host name is the important that okay. So that this is the server name, and if you see this is teams.microsoft, but you can have any kind of host name, and this is the sub value for this, and you can go to that directory or file which you want to access. So I want to get the v2. It is a API naming, so just keep it. So I want to access the resource meeting join. Okay, so it will need something to call this what we say endpoint, not endpoint, URL in simple term. So it will need some information. So we will have to give the information. So just I'm telling you the overview of upper. Don't get overwhelmed. You will understand very little by little when you will start coding and you will try to deploy your website on the cloud or some website like Vercel on this host provider. So you will know. Okay, so let's talk about the website and web application. Okay, so website is what so website mostly is static content. Okay, so in the website there's something written and you will just read it, and you will not perform any operation. So website example can be a blog, some blogs. Okay, not like Wikipedia, it is a website. Okay, because it is a static, you don't perform any action here. Okay, of course you type here, and this is it. You can't do much. You can surf it here, but it is a static, it won't do much of things. Okay, so when you're going to learn about the web development, you are not going to much work on the static website. You are going to work on the uh, application, web application, web services. Okay, so this is the static website. So initially we will of course create a website, static website in this phase 0. Later when we will learn JavaScript and the database and Node.js, Express.js, we are going to create a web application. Okay, the web application we can add or perform some operation like adding something, deleting something from the database, fetching something from the database, or another thing like we can also do, we can create a good web application which can be used. If you have any idea, you can of course try to implement it there. Okay, so like a website do not have to handle the data, okay, and it is not a complex, but web application are very complex, okay. So we perform any task like web application one can be, pan you fill the income tax, okay, income tax page. This is a web application because you will perform operations here. You will fill your income tax into the government website. All the details you will fill and do your thing. So this is a web application, okay. So it requires user input, of course, because we are going to fill the form. So of course it will require a user input, okay. And it will have a data management like database, like if you have used database in your college days or maybe not, then we store our somewhere our data is stored, okay. So we store our music into the file system, okay. But our address, like if you are belonging our Aadhaar card, it is information about our Aadhaar card is stored some into the some database, okay. And from the help of Aadhaar number we can retrieve our Aadhaar information from the government website. So that is also web application. We can perform some operation there, okay. Okay, so interface is very and also, like, of course, a bigger example is Facebook. Amazon is the web application, okay. You perform some application there, okay. So these are web applications. So there's a very little bit of difference into the website and web application. In the website you just go to the you search means read something and don't do much there, okay. And web application, you perform much, much of the action there, okay. Perform action, interact with it and save something, delete something. It you do some work there, and there you just you read information. uh, Same web application can be also website, so there's not much a difference, okay. So uh, based on your action, website will have a different thing, but on the sorry, web application will have different thing, but on the website there won't be much things to handle, okay. So there's a not much difference from the website and web application, okay. So I've already told you static website and dynamic website. Like in the static website, you just the page is there and you can't do much, okay. You just have to read static website and nothing else, okay. So like Wikipedia, it is a website, it is a static website. You can't do much here, okay. You can of course search it there, but not much of interaction. If I go somewhere, let me make website demo. Okay, so okay, yeah. Of course, we have a bigger demo like Flipkart. So you go there, you add something to your cart, you watch something, you see, I have searched phones and I can add it into the cart. I can know about this information about the phone, and I can do so many things. So this is a web application and it is a dynamic. Okay, in the static website, there won't be much things to do. Okay, so there's a page is already created and you just have to go through one page to another page. Okay, into the static website, okay. There's a link and you from one link to another you can go, okay. You can't do much there. Into the dynamic website, every action you perform, there's something new things will be there. If I can log in and my value will be saved there. So in the Wikipedia I cannot log in, I don't want to edit it. Okay, so this is a dynamic website, Flipkart, Amazon. So where you perform some action are dynamic website, and there you don't perform any action, a static website, this simple term. Okay. So there's a of course in the static website and dynamic website have static website have just front end part. Okay, in the dynamic website there's a server side part also. Okay, in the server side there can be one programming language like a .NET framework programming language is there in PHP. Okay, and MySQL is the database. Okay, so in the dynamic website, first is the user interface and the server and the database. Three parts. It is into the three parts. Okay, so this will be the user interface UI, and you will be the users. Okay, and it will connect to the server. You won't be able to see the server, okay. and server is connected to the DB. Not like this. DB should be cylindrical. Okay, so this is DB, maybe MySQL DB. Okay, so you whatever you do here. You are not informed about these things into the dynamic part, and into the static website. Okay, there is just UI. There is no server, no database. Okay, no database. Okay, these part are not there. There is just UI, user interface, or maybe website. And into the dynamic site or website, there's a website plus the server code. Okay, and it can be into the any program language, JavaScript or framework like React or maybe Java, GSP. These programming languages can be, and this will be also in JavaScript or maybe Java, and this can be MySQL, Oracle database, MongoDB, and so many databases. So all of them can have can be independent from each other. So into the static website, there's the information already there, and you just read it into the dynamic website. The information can change upon your action. Okay, so if you see the I select this phone, so the there will be new page will be loaded. So every action there will be another page will be loaded. I can see the review and then things I can do. Okay, so this is an example of dynamic website. Okay. Okay, so how website is created? So there's a 6 phase. Okay, so this is a software development phase. Okay, so first you want to create something. Okay, so let's suppose I want to create a e-commerce site. Okay, so first I will have to do the analysis. Okay, so I want to gather my requirement. Okay, so what I want to do, maybe create, not do requirements, what should be there. Okay, what should be functionality. So these are analysis, and it is done by the product owner. So the person who has come up with this idea, or who is the owner of the product. Okay, so product owner, okay, a stakeholder, or maybe if you have created your site, so maybe you can be also CEO, chairman. So mostly the product owner come up with the idea. Okay, and the second phase is the design. Okay, so how our site will look like. Okay, so like our site will have one home page, there will be image. Okay, there will be in the home page there will be section. Okay, so home, about, and image. Hi, this is e-commerce site, something like this there will be there. Okay, so first is analysis. You are gathering all the information about your website, and then you will do the design. So design can be UI UX design. So you basically create how your website should look like. Okay, so something like my website should look like let me show you the UI UX. So okay, maybe example is better. Okay, so this is the UI will be created, something like this. The UI will be created. Okay, and then you will be the coder who will make this possible. Okay, so I am the coder. The product owner will hire me to code this website. Okay, so there are 2 phase already has been done. Now I'm going to create into the real website. This picture I'm going to create a real. So this is a UI user interface created by some Photoshop app, or there are so many apps to create it. So you create this, and then the real coder which we came into the picture, then we are going to do the development. Okay, so the development, so there are 2 type of developer, so front end and the back end. Okay, so the front end developer will create a front user interface. So this whole in the my laptop screen you can see whatever this is created by a front end person. Okay, okay, so front end person is usually sit onto the client side, user side. I'm a user, and whatever I'm interacting, I'm interacting with the first front end person created website. So it will be called UI, user interface. Okay, it is a user interface. And backend, you can't see it. Backend is invisible. Okay, it is a server. It will do your all the processing into the backend. Okay, so like something like if I write something to google.com, I can see that I'm writing it. This is done by the front end. And when I'm going to enter it, all the behind work will be done by the backend person. So backend person is, he's in the back and he's an invisible person. So that is why they also name them, backend. That is not a visible person. Okay. What I am both. I am a full stack developer. Okay. So I can work on both sides. Okay. So we are, I'm basically 50-50. Okay. So I can, when they have, much time task on the UI. So I work on the UI and much task on the backend. I work on the backend. But I love backend technology. Love working on the backend. Okay. So of course not, I don't hate front end. Okay. Yeah. So then there's a testing. So let's suppose I've created this website so that there will be tester, QA analyst, okay, and DevOps team. They will test the website. Okay, if I write something google.com, is it working? Okay, if I write something which does not exist, it should give us error. So something like this should happen. Okay, so these all scenario are tested. Okay, and then deployment. I'm going to deploy it somewhere. Like, if your site is static, so you can sorry, you can host into the google.com, okay, sorry, github.com, and then there's a version you can host it there, and there's a render.com, and of course there's a famous Google Cloud, okay, and AWS. You can host all these things. So nowadays two parts are there. So there are two mainly, AWS and I think Google GCP. Yeah, these two are every website are hosted in these two cloud provider. Cloud means simply there's a remote environment machine sitting somewhere, and you just host your website there, and a user can access it. And there's a maintain. So maybe you will, when you are going to work, you will work on the maintenance part mostly. You are not going to work on the development part. If the company is a startup, then you are going to work on the development part, and after 1 or 2 months, of course, you will go to the development. Development and maintenance are the same. Okay, in the development you work on the new feature. In the maintenance you already fix whatever broken into the new feature. Okay, so this is the software development life cycle. You will also learn in your uh, classes. Okay, so this is something like the anatomy of website. Okay, and not all the website are work like this. Okay, so just so do you know this Microsoft PPT? This is also web application. Okay, so this is injected into the this is after development, it is came into this form, but maybe someone has developed into it into the uh, web application. Sorry, so this is a web application. Okay, yeah, so this is also an application. Okay, so if you see the structure of this, this is a search bar. So for this website, this was the requirement. So first, of course, there will be always a home button. So for the most of the website, this is true. Okay, so there will be header, something like this, and about section, blog section, product, I mean type of product. There will be sidebar, user, and there will be hyperlinks, and in the last there will be footer. Okay, in the cards. So the basic website will look like this. Based on your requirement, of course, it will be changed. It's not always like this. Okay, just remember this. So this is sidebar. When we are going to develop our website, we will develop into this form. Okay, okay, so I have already told you about this thing. Okay, so you are the user. Okay, you write something into the google.com. This is a UI is a Chrome, and there's also backend is there already, but we can't see this. Okay, so you write something, UI process this data, and it sends to the backend server. Okay, server goes to the database. Sorry, okay, and database, it will have a data, or maybe it can be file system. Like in our operating system, we store everything into the file. Okay, so there will be file system. Okay, so this will again return the data. Then server will do is processing, and it will return to the data to the URL HTML page. Okay, so something like this happens. Okay, so you see this is the user, and the data is collected. Okay, so first it goes to the front end, and front end declares the data to the web server, and web server goes to the database or maybe file system. Okay, and then the data is get returned to the web server, and then the web server return to the front end, and front end return to the user. Okay, so something like this happens. Okay, when you write something into the web browser or something. Okay, so this is it about the first module. I think I don't know, maybe it was excited or not, but even if it was not excited, don't worry. It was just tell you. I did not knew these things initially, but later after working, I started to know these things. When you work, you will know everything. Okay, so you just have to practice everything, whatever is taught here. Okay, so today go to home and just watch this presentation. Just see this about and search about the internet, and you must be, if you want to become a better developer, you must be better at the search, not better, bestest. You must be the best. You should be able to search something. You should know what you want to search. Okay, so I will how internet was created, or maybe history of internet. Okay, history of internet. Okay, so something search is there, or maybe you can maybe go to the Jigs for Jigs and you can learn it about the internet there. Okay, so it was started in 1916. So something like this you can do. Okay, so you should be best at the searching. Okay, so thank you everyone. If you have a question, let me know, and if not, we can go. Okay, so this was it for the lecture today. From tomorrow we will start the HTML beginning of our web development journey. Bye everyone.